Okay, great. So I'm calling to order the January 19th, 2021 meeting of the Millbrook Library Board of Trustees. Welcome, everyone. We have a quorum. I just noted that we're going to be approving the December 2020 meeting minutes at our next meeting. And I just want to welcome James, who's joining us again as a guest this evening. He's currently off camera, but that's fine. And I would just like to say for my president's report, mainly that the Personnel Committee was a really great meeting with Courtney last Friday or Thursday for her 6 months, which was actually 7 months, but 6-month performance evaluation. And we were very pleased to be able to share with her that the board is very happy with her performance during these first 6 months. It feels like she's been here longer than that, and she's just jumped right in and is doing a really great job. And she also let us know that she's very much enjoying her job. So we're all in a good place right now. So that was a wonderful and super easy and fun performance evaluation to do.
Excellent.
And I, along with Cecilia and Mark on the personnel committee. Does anyone have any questions or anything? All right. That's all I have for my report. So I would like to turn it over to Courtney.
All right. So I want to start off with some COVID-19 updates. It's hard to believe it was only Monday of last week, but Monday of last week, we reopened to the public after closing down for curbside for 2 weeks. And I think we're in a really good place. And I think the staff also feels like we're in a really good place. My main concern with the library going back to how it was open before we went to curbside was that we would sit in our nonfiction room on the computers and would repeatedly wear their masks incorrectly or pull them down and like talk to each other. And it had to become one of those things where we had to monitor it pretty closely. And even after we kept telling people, like, you should know the rules, like you have to wear the mask properly. Oh wait, my battery is running low. Wait 1 second. Apparently my computer became unplugged. Now it's better. So it was one of those things where people knew what they were supposed to be doing. They weren't doing it. And it was mainly just people on the computers or using our study areas, like our tables and everything. So with how we've reopened now, we don't have any seating in the library, so people can't sit and study like they used to. And we only have 2 computers available, and both of them are in view of the circulation desk. So the staff can watch to make sure the patrons are like wearing masks correctly. And if a patron has to be reminded more than twice, then they can't use the computers for 2 weeks. So we've had, most people are okay with this. We have had a couple of our like heavy computer users come in and kind of grumble that they can't do things how they're used to. But I think it's a really good medium point where we're open for browsing, we're open for people to copy things, we're open for people to print things if they need to, but we're not letting people sit here for 3 hours and break the rules type of thing and put everybody in danger. So I think we're at a really good place right now. I think the staff thinks so too. We just had a staff meeting also last week, and everybody thinks that we're on the right track and this is a good place to be right now. So are there any questions about anything COVID related? Okay. So building updates, I have Jeffrey Van Tassel. He's coming to replace our boiler bearing assembly on the 26th. So that'll be good to have that done. For collection updates, in the beginning of February, we're going to be getting some scanning equipment from Hudson River Valley Heritage. They're going to be giving us scanning equipment and a laptop. And once we get that, staff's going to start scanning what we have to do in the Bennett collection. So it'll be nice to start moving that forward and getting things online. For our development and grant updates, currently as of last Friday, we have raised over $32,000 in our 2020 fall appeal, which I was very pleased with. We also had some generous donations from like the Morona Charitable Foundation. They've donated $20,000, and we're going to use part of this to cover the cost of our boiler replacement pump. And then part of it will go towards collection development and specifically like ebooks and e-resources. We also had some other really generous donations for children's programs and general purposes. So that was really nice to see. For
Can I ask, do you know, you might not have this at your fingertips, but do you know how, in terms of the annual appeal so far, what was raised, how that might compare to other years?
I don't. That's something I definitely want to measure once I think that we're kind of towards the end of getting donations, which I think we might almost be there. It's definitely slowed down in the past couple of weeks, but I'll keep you posted.
Okay, good.
For finance, I'm working with Erica to determine when to submit our PPP forgiveness application. Right now, I talked to her, it's almost 2 weeks ago now. It was 2 Thursdays ago. And she says it looks like there are going to be some changes to the forgiveness paperwork that may or may not go through. So we're kind of waiting to see what happens with that and if that gets signed and all that fun stuff. But she's reassured me that we're still on track and okay, which is good. The second thing that I wanted to bring up for finance was something that came up during my performance evaluation. And I would like to propose modifying my current health insurance coverage. So right now, how it works is I pay 10% of the health insurance as for a single plan. And if I wanted to move to a family plan, I would have to pay the difference in between, like the library wouldn't pay the extra money for the family plan. So that comes out to $1,172 a month, which would be almost $14,000 a year for me, which would be kind of hard to do. My reason for bringing this up now is because right now there's kind of a high probability that my husband could lose his job because it's tied to state funding. And it was one of those things where we kind of looked at it together and we were like, okay, how do we make this work? And we were like, okay, that'd be really difficult to do. So this came up at the performance evaluation, and Jody and Mark and Cecilia said that I should bring it up here. So I'd like to ask the board if there's a way that this could be adjusted. I have to move to the family plan. I can pay 10% of the family plan cost instead of covering the full amount. So I'm more than happy to answer any questions with this.
I would just say yes, absolutely. Yes. The end. Yep. All right.
I'm not sure. I think it has to be an official vote, but I really appreciate that.
Does anyone else have any questions for?
Does the treasurer want to weigh in on this? Mark?
Oh, you're
Oh,
muted.
I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm a big proponent for families and happy families and everything like that. I didn't know that was how it was set up. I think I haven't come across something like that where someone pays the complete difference between a single and a family. So I'd be okay with making that change. Long term, I mean, we have only 1 or 2 full-time associates that would ever be looking at benefits. So I don't think we're opening up the floodgates for, endless benefits that we might not be able to cover in the long term. So I think it's feasible. I'm okay with it.
Good.
Well, it seems to me that if it makes your situation tenable, especially in an uncertain time, and we certainly have the resources to do it, we should make your life better, not worse.
Thank you.
I agree.
So I would say that we're not hearing any objections, so we would approve that change here. Is that correct, everyone?
Yes. Yes.
I would move that we make that change to the letter of agreement with Courtney.
I second.
I third. I know we only need 2, but
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Who seconded?
Oh, Sarah, I think Sarah and I did both.
Sarah. Okay, thank you.
All right, I can just say thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Michael's going to be very happy when I tell him this later. So thank you again. Moving to the friends, we've had painting start in the foyer today, which is really nice to see things happening and moving around. We found out that the fire extinguisher box couldn't be moved and it has to kind of remain where it is. But in the scheme of things, I think the friends accept that and it's okay. It'll work with the design plan. Kathy has ordered the display cabinets, so those should be coming in soon. We've got our chairs came in today, which was pretty exciting. So things are definitely moving along on that front. So for outreach, I just wanted to give an update. We've been putting out a free book cart. I'm not sure how many of you have seen it, but it's been really popular lately, which is kind of nice because that's where I'm putting all the books that I'm weeding from the collection. So it's kind of nice that even though they're done with their time here, people are still taking them home and giving them a new life, which is nice to see. I haven't had to throw anything out, which just feels really good. And I just wanted to share something that I've been doing too with a lot of turmoil happening around the world right now. I've been focusing on sharing social media posts about self-care, and I'm also sharing information on vaccines and where people can find information on that, which is kind of easier said than done because yesterday I got an email, or a couple days ago, I got an email from Dutchess County saying that vaccine sites were open, and like 20 minutes later, all the appointments were taken. So
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things where I'm putting out the information as fast as I can, but also it keeps changing very quickly. So for personnel, Justin O'Hearn started at the library on December 21st, and he really is the perfect re-addition to our team. He had been working in the library and left in March when everything kind of shut down, and we're really happy that he came back, and it's like he didn't leave, and I didn't even work with him the first time, so it feels really nice to have him here. For our adult programming position, Kristen Perkins has officially signed her offer letter and will be starting at the library on the 26th, so next Tuesday, I believe. I'm really excited to get her started here. I think it's going to help me a lot in terms of limiting the stuff that I have to do on that end. So it'll be nice to pass some things to a new person. And I think she'll be a really good fit here. Tom and I had a really good interview with her, and both of us couldn't really see any negatives to her interview, which seems like always a good sign. So we're excited for that to start. I just wanted to give, Carrie, I gave you a heads up, but and it kind of relates to some of the programming this month too, but Abby's grandfather passed away recently. So she's been going through some stuff, and I think Carrie, you said the board is going to send her a card, which will be really nice. And I just wanted a reminder, I'm still missing some sexual harassment law training forms from a couple of people. So if you're one of those people, please give them to me as soon as possible. So for programming, because of Abby's loss, we have rearranged some of our children's programming for January. We canceled 2 programs. They were easy to be canceled. We made a kids craft program instead of like the kids get the craft and then do the craft with Abby on the video. The kids just came and got the craft, and Abby had instructions in there, so it was kind of like a solo activity instead. And I moderated the drawing club for her, and people have been really understanding. We haven't had any complaints, and it's not like it's something that happens every day type of thing, you know. It's because of extreme circumstances, and I think everybody's understood that. For Terry, her teen craft kits are still doing really well, and she's been using the Cricut that the friends bought for us a lot, so it's good to see that getting good use right off the bat. We had 14 people sign up for our greeting card take and make kit for adults for this month, which is also pretty exciting, and I think we're going to do it again in February. It's relatively cheap considering what you get and how much time I would spend putting something together, and people seem to really like it. So I think we'll do it for at least one more month and then kind of see if people are tired of it or not. We had a really successful cooking program where we had 16 people come, and that was last week, I believe. And we had a lot of really good feedback. One patron actually came into the library and complimented the program. So I think that was very well received. And we have some programs scheduled for February already. There's one that in particular looks pretty cool that I'm excited about. There's a gentleman who used to work for the Met, and he's doing a program on like, it's called Party Hardy in the Middle Ages. And he talks about like how people would party in the Middle Ages, and he uses art examples, and he has a recipe for roast unicorn, which really got my attention. So we already have a couple people signed up for that. So I think that should be pretty fun. For sustainability, the next meeting will be towards the end of January. I'm thinking next week. I still need to schedule it. And we will be sending out our first internal staff sustainability newsletter this month. So Abby's taking the lead on that. And it's just kind of a way to keep everybody in the library updated on what we're doing and the steps we're taking and why we're doing this whole sustainability project to begin with. So, and I kind of wanted to end on my most exciting thing for last week, which is our new website is now up and running. This project definitely took a lot longer than I thought it would. We've been working on it since August, but it is done, and I am really happy with how it looks. I'm still tweaking things here and there. Like I updated the social media icons today and like little things like that. But overall, I really like the design, and I'm trying to gather like all the feedback I can. So if you see anything that you think could look better, or you're like, hey, why isn't this on there? Please let me know, because I want to make it really, really good.
Well, I think
you already tried it out on your phone.
It's a definite improvement, and I look forward to delving a little bit more into it and checking it out. So good job.
Thank you. I have to say it kind of got off to a rocky start when Jillian Murphy, she's the director at the Cold Spring Library, and she's been the one helping us with the whole design and everything. And she tried transferring it, I guess, on December 31st. And I tried logging into the library's website a couple days later to take off that we were closed and all the like closing information, because we were reopening after the holiday, and our website didn't exist. So that Saturday I spent like 3 hours on the phone with tech support, and we eventually got it back. But it was one of those things where I was very nervous to do it a second time. And Jerry at Mid Hudson, we had a phone call scheduled. He sat down with me, he walked me through it, and he got it done in less than 45 minutes. So I was very happy. Things went a lot more smoothly. And that's kind of all I have. Oh, actually, there is one more thing. Jody reminded me today that we need to officially approve the 2021 holidays. So I can read them out if you want, and then you can vote to approve them or not. But the ones coming up are, we're looking to be closed on February 15th for President's Day, May 29th and 31st for Memorial Day weekend, July 5th, which is the observed 4th of July, because I believe the 4th of July is on a Sunday this year, September 9th and September 6th, which is Labor Day weekend, October 11th is Columbus Day, November 25th is Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, Christmas Eve, and New Year's Eve.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept the 2021 holiday list as read by Courtney? Is there a second? Matt seconds, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. And thank you, Jody, for reminding me about that.
All right, well, thank you, Courtney. Are there any questions, anything else for Courtney after her report?
Courtney, can you just email me those dates, please, for the minutes?
Yes.
I started writing them down and I didn't catch them all. Thank you.
No, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I guess my thing would be for the sustainability thing that you're sharing with your staff. Would you be able to share it with us, or I don't know, like, is it something? Because I know it's the project you're working on, and I know you've mentioned it. I just like to, see what you guys are up to, and I don't know, and any other like, you're just doing so many cool things. If you're ever just doing like some cool thing that you're sending out to your staff or other people, like send it to us too. It'll be like a good read, or I don't know, anything like that. So
yeah, I'll definitely I'll ask Abby to send it out, or I can forward it. I'll make sure you all get it.
Thank you.
And if you don't follow Courtney, or if you're on Instagram and you don't follow the library, follow the library. There's always something good. All right, so I'm gonna now pass over to Mark for financials.
Oh, yay. Okay. A lot of exciting stuff is going on. I received our financials for November 2020 from Erica. And let me go over some of the items. Like usually when I highlight them on my report, it's anything that's over a 10% change year over year. So it's worth, reviewing. If it's close enough, it's not that special. So for our income, a lot of these items, I'm doing month after month, they kind of seem to be the same items, maybe a 0.5% change from month to month. But again, government support is down due to the lack of the Union Vale funding. Contribution income year over year is down 30%. We're doing great in August. I think we had some big contributions, and I think that'll probably change. And it seems like I'm gonna, if you can remind me, just to, never mind. I'll just look it up myself. I can kind of dig into the numbers and see how we're doing when it comes to the contributions, like from the drives and everything like that. So it'd be nice to see. It sounds like if you're saying 20,000 from the fall drive, that is a good number. I think in recent years we might have missed a couple drives as well, so that'll help. Income, yeah, these not much has changed here. Expenses, I think most of these things I've gone over before in terms of like collection development, computer maintenance, and workers' comp. And for the balance sheet, again, our checking account is up quite a bit, generally due to the PPP and lower expenses. Our Friends account is up as well. Just, I mean, that's the Friends account. They raised a bunch of money and, they're trying to spend it. It's a challenge these days, but, they have their project in the foyer. And I guess the last two, I guess I would have wanted to send an email earlier to Courtney, just to get a clarification on the prepaid insurance. Usually, there's nothing there, so I guess we must be ahead on our insurance or prepaid insurance. And same thing, there must be something in the prepaid expenses. So those two I kind of wouldn't mind. Do you know off the top of your head, Courtney, what those two might be? Or if Erica might have mentioned them? This is back in November numbers though, so.
No, but I can find out.
Okay. Yeah, they're not big numbers, and there tends to be something in there in those two categories, and they fluctuate based upon the bills, so that's okay. And yeah, new equipment. In terms of new business, Courtney kind of went over it already about the PPP loan forgiveness. I mean, at the same time, I know Erica's kind of the one that has, the numbers with the payroll and how much we got for the PPP loan, but as soon as that you can show that you've used that money, you can apply for the forgiveness. I know I've dealing with other businesses, they've gotten their forgiveness months ago. So it's up to you, but you can probably move ahead with that. You've been fully staffed the whole time for what you applied for. So I feel like it's probably within possibility. I know Erica said there might be some changes. This time of year, Erica's also very busy, so she might be telling you that there's been changes and you can hold off on it, but you could probably just move ahead on it too.
We just did that at Grace. You do have to show a 25% drop in income. I don't know if we have for the library.
That one is for the second round of PPP loans.
Right.
To apply for them. So we might do the second round of PPP loans. I mean, we are
talking about the wrapping up of the first round. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the forgiveness on the first round. So she doesn't have to show any sort of like loss in income.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be, I mean, I guess it's something we could prove too, again, for this round, find a like loss of income and everything like that. And that's it. Oh, and I guess maybe I'll email you, Courtney. In terms of the financial reports we get from Erica, I don't know when she stopped doing it, but there used to be a profit and loss versus budget. I know we have a profit loss year over year, which is not too helpful since this year is so different from last year. But it'd be nice maybe for this coming year to compare it to our budget and be looking at how our profit and loss is compared to the budget, so we can always, prepare a better one, or what we need to, what funding we need to look for moving forward. So if you could request Erica to do the profit and loss versus budget as well.
Yep, definitely. She's coming in on Thursday, so I'll talk to her then.
Okay. All right. So that is the financial report for the Millbrook Library. Could I get a motion to approve the November 2020 financial report?
I'll make a motion, whatever.
All right.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All in
And
favor? Yay. Okay.
and the bills to be paid. And Courtney sends that out. I usually attach it to my financial report as well for the bills that have been paid. Sorry, I forgot. I don't have the time frames in front of
There
me.
was one from December 21st
Yes.
and
So-
January 7th.
All right. So if I could get a motion to approve the bills for December 21st, 2020 and January 7th, 2021.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All right.
All in favor to pay those two bills or to approve the bills?
Aye.
Okay, all in favor. They are approved.
And yeah, I think that's everything I want to go over. Does anyone have any questions or comments or? All right.
I have some questions, but I think I'm going to save it till later because it's not really related to that. So,
Oh, okay, sure. But this would be a good time too. I think we're about to transition to committee reports. If you want to go ahead and ask your question, that'd be fine.
okay. So really, I was wondering, I know there's a few technological things going on there now. And I had a few questions if there was like a point person or someone in charge of like future planning or anything like that. Anybody for emergency services, phone call or on-site. Or you got a new scanner? I don't know if you need anybody to help hook up, configure, anything like that. The website management, development, any upcoming projects, putting filters on the computers, time limits and all that good stuff. Just throwing my little 2 cents in and seeing if you guys would need anything like that.
I don't know, Courtney, what do you think?
So I think right now we just signed a new contract with the Mid-Hudson Library System. They offer tech support services. So that's kind of, they do like the filters on the computer and the time limits, and that's through a program called SAM. And we're actually moving away from it because nobody likes it, and it's really annoying for both staff and patrons. So it's not the easiest system in the world to use. So if you knew of anything better, I'd be more than happy to look at more options for that. But in terms of like tech support, that they mostly do our stuff. The website management, it was Mid-Hudson, now it's me. That was the whole website transition thing. And Mid-Hudson, they do things like earlier, or I guess last year, we had to get a new router. They came and configured it for us because I tried to do it and royally messed it up. So they kind of came and cleaned up my mess.
Looks easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It looks easy until you realize that you need to change like settings and stuff. And I was like, oh, all right, I'm out of my depth, out of my league. So I don't know if that answers your question, but.
Oh no, it doesn't. Absolutely. So I'll be looking for some software, and if you need a hand, let me know.
Thank you. That's awesome.
All right, you got it.
Thanks, James. So I'm going to move over to committee reports, and I'm just going to move down the list. Building and grounds. Michael, do you have anything to report?
I don't. Courtney, I did send over this evening because I totally forgot to send it earlier. The engineer's proposal to be signed that we talked about last month. So, and I know Jeff, I've been on Jeff and getting that pump replaced, but that's about it. It's great that I hear a date now.
Okay, thank you. And we heard a little bit about development and fundraising and friends from Courtney. I don't know if there's anything else to report on either one of those fronts. Okay. As far as long-range planning, as you know, this year we're due to come up with our next 3-year plan. And typically that happens at the annual meeting in February, but this year we have a really great opportunity well, let me back up. One of the first steps in the whole process of coming up with a long-range plan is getting feedback from your community. And this year we have the opportunity to take part in this great program called Turning Outward, which Courtney knows a lot about, and she and I both attended a webinar on Friday through Mid-Hudson Library System, and they are providing some training and great support for us to do this. It would mean that we would be working on this through more towards the end of the year, but at the end of the process that we would have a plan in place in November, I think it is. And it just sounds like a really great opportunity for us to engage with the community and really develop a more meaningful 3-year plan for the library that really addresses and gets to the heart of what our community is looking for from our library. So with that said, I'm going to let Courtney chime in and give us a little bit more information on what it all entails.
All right, so Turning Outward, this is one of the things that I used to do at Mid-Hudson as part of the library sustainability team. And I actually taught libraries how to do it last year, and I went to a 3-day training in Atlanta to learn how to do it last year, or the year before, 2019. So this is something that I definitely know a lot about, and basically what it entails is if our library decides to do it, which I'm really hoping we will, is we have to create a team of 4 to 6 people, and that's comprised of me, a couple of board members, a couple of staff members, if there's any friends that are interested in doing it. And basically our job as a team is to hold at least 5 community conversations with people in the community, and we ask a series of 10 questions that are not library specific. It's more about like, what type of community do you want to live in, and like what is stopping that from happening, and like what aspirations do you have for your community and things like that. So right now Mid-Hudson has a whole program that we go through, and it's I basically helped Casey plan the whole program, so I know what it is pretty well. But it basically, we start off in February with some homework, and then how it used to be is we would have like 2 in-person like day-long trainings at Mid-Hudson. Now they're breaking it down into monthly meetings online. And we basically walk through the process with them, and there's other libraries that are also doing it, so we get to like brainstorm and bounce ideas off of other libraries and other teams. And the whole point of it is after you have these community conversations and you gather this information and you can kind of organize it and then create a plan that actually meets the needs of the community, not what they think they want in a library, what they actually want to see change in our community. So I think this is going to be really helpful for a couple of reasons. The first one is when you ask people like, oh, what changes do you want to see in the library? A lot of times you'll get, oh, nothing, you're doing a great job, or oh, buy more books. And that's not really the direction that we want to go in. We want to kind of have more impactful, meaningful changes. Although more books is great. And two, I think this will be really, really helpful, at least for me personally, to make community connections and get to know other people, because that's something that I really feel like I'm doing okay on, but I really want to do better. And it's kind of hard right now because there are no meetings and there's no gatherings and there's no community days and all this other stuff that would have happened already hasn't happened. So I've been trying to like get out there as much as I can and like meet people on my own, but obviously right now our situation is making that pretty difficult. So basically it's going to help us form a great plan. It's going to help me and whoever's on the team make more meaningful connections. And hopefully it'll show our community members that we really care about what they have to say and that we actually take steps to make changes to make our community better. So I know that was kind of a lot. So if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
What does that look like in terms of gathering information from the community? So what would that actually look like, that process?
So there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. The first way is there's something called an ask exercise, which is kind of like a 5-minute thing where you can sit down with a person one-on-one and ask them a series of 4 questions. I believe they are what type of community do you want to live in? Why is that important to you? How is it different from how you see things now? And what needs to change to make this happen? Paraphrased, but so that's one method that we can use. The second is the community conversations, like I said, which is where you have a bigger group of people. It's generally like maybe like 10 to 15 people, and you have a series of 10 questions that you ask them, and it's a facilitated conversation where one person is asking people questions and kind of like basically facilitating, and another person's a note taker and taking down information and what people are saying. And then at the end of those conversations, you put all the information together and you look for themes. And based off of those themes that you start to sense after talking with a bunch of people, that's what you put in your action plan, like where you see people need the most, the community needs the most help. So for example, like a common theme that comes up a lot is communication. People often say like, oh, I wish there was one place that I could go that had all the information about stuff that was going on in the town. So then maybe the library can do something about that, and you kind of take it from there.
This didn't come up in the webinar because it was more about process a little bit, but how do the people who let me rephrase that. How do the people who participate in the conversations, how do you get back to them with the results or inform them of what's going to happen next? Or
that's a really good question, actually. One thing that you can do is take people's contact information and then email everybody with the results. Once you have, like, what I was envisioning is once we gather all this information and kind of organize it, then we have like a 1-page document where we can share what we learned with everybody. So I'd want to send that out to definitely people who participated, and then to the community in general. So that's something where I would share it with like the town hall and put it in a newsletter and share it on social media and put it on like the Millbrook community Facebook pages and just like blast it out there so everybody learns what we did and like how cool it is and what we discovered. Because I think Casey mentioned in the webinar, it's really something like this information, it takes a lot of hard work to learn it and organize it and do all, it's a process, it takes months, but it's really worth it in the end. I think once you see like the outcome of it, and it's something that should be shared with everybody. So like other organizations can use this information to help them in the future.
Well, it seems like I personally was just super excited about it. It seems like a really engaging process. And once you start engaging people, they feel more invested and involved and included. And that's just all excellent. And what I had expressed to Courtney was that I felt like that I don't know yet how we're going to go about figuring out, or how you are going to go about figuring out who you're going to have these conversations with, which constituents exactly, and how you'll group it. But that I think people will be open to these types of conversations, I think more now, perhaps even than say 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So I think it just sounds like a really positive effort that will help up to inform our 3-year plan going forward.
I think so too. So I think the next step is for us to tell Mid-Hudson that we're interested in doing it. I know I am definitely ready to take this on and form a team and do all the hard work. It's, I think I was telling you, Jody, that it's like one of those things where I got to teach other libraries how to do it. And I was like, man, I really want to do this in my library. Now I can. So I was thinking, if you're interested in working with me on this, if you want to send me an email after the meeting and let me know. We can kind of take it from there. I do want to like make it clear, like this is going to require attendance at like monthly meetings, and it's going to take some work. So if you want to commit to it, don't say I didn't warn you. But I'm willing to do it if other people are to help me.
So would the long range planning committee automatically be part of that, Jody?
I think that remains to be seen. If you want to ask more specific questions about what the time commitment is and what that will look like, then, if you're interested, because I think there would still be, even after we've gathered all this information, there will still be work for the long range planning committee to do separate from that information. So I think it would be up to you. If you're interested in participating, let Courtney know, but I don't think you automatically have to if you're on the committee.
As a member of the long-term planning committee, I'm excited about this idea. I love the approach where you're asking what kind of community would you like before you're saying what kind of library do you want. And it really opens up some thoughts in my own mind just on our own way of planning. So happy to be part of it. And I think
Thank you.
it's a good idea.
Okay.
Are there any other questions for Courtney on this Turning Outward program and our plan to move forward with this?
I just want to say, working on with the Thorn committee right now, we're doing the exact same thing. We're reaching out to all these different people saying, what does this community want? And it's eye-opening. There's things out there that I'm learning. So every time you do this, you're going to learn.
Yeah, I think that's maybe there's a way that we could work together on it and like share the information that we're finding.
Oh, yeah, definitely talk to you.
Funny that
We've learned
we're
a
doing
lot
it.
talking to all the different artists and writers and you name it, all different professions.
That's awesome.
Well, it would be interesting to compare constituent lists as well as what the questions they've asked, and see if different types of questions that we could be asking.
Because they're both community-based organizations.
Right.
For Millbrook.
Yep.
And the surrounding area.
Sounds great. All right. Is there anything else that on committees we have nominating? Is there anything else that for nominating to report?
I have a couple of little things. I was just looking at the bylaws, and we have the current number incorrectly at 12. We're at 10, and if James joins us next month, we'll be at 11. Is that something that we have to vote to change?
I'm going to go back and look at that because I talked to Rebecca about it. I think it's an unnecessary thing to have in your bylaws, because then you'd have to change it every single time.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need to change that right now, but we can look into the wording of that and maybe have it slightly worded differently so that we don't have to
Okay.
always be.
I don't know if that's something people would ever look at or be interested or, you know, be critical of if it wasn't correct.
Right.
And then the other question, and I really just started going through it, but the other question is, it does say that we should have no more than 2 trustees be Unionville residents. And is that something that we still need to do? Because we certainly don't have any at the moment. And are we only doing that if Unionville doesn't have the restrictions? What are
Yeah, I
your
would
thoughts?
think you want to make it conditional.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder if it is in there as an artifact of the, you know, obviously of the relationship that and the contract. So I'm not sure. That's a good question. We can look into that.
And I guess I would just recommend everybody, I mean, it's not like light reading that you have, you know, all this extra time to sit around doing, but if you all could look through and just see if there's anything that jumps out at you, I think it, you know, it's something that we should keep up with. And if we certainly need to make any changes or updates to stay current.
Absolutely.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it for now.
Okay. Personnel, I already mentioned Courtney's 6-month review. As far as policy, due to the fact that we are no longer have fees at the library, we need to make some changes to the lending rules and procedures policy. So I'm just going to share, hopefully this will work okay. Share my screen. Oh no, I can't. Host disabled participant screen sharing.
I believe they have to make you the host in order for you to be able to present.
But they can switch screen sharing to multiple screens.
Jody, it should work now.
Okay. All right, good. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. So I'm just going to show this. Can everybody see the lending rules and procedures now?
Yes.
So the only changes are, you know, it's just to reflect this change of no more fees. The main thing is down here at the bottom where it's proposed that it read, overdue fines will not be charged for items checked out at the Millbrook Library. Items that are checked out at another library and returned to the Millbrook may accrue overdue fines if the other library is not fine free. And then at the bottom here, borrowers who return billed items in good condition will not be charged overdue fees. And I think that was really, those are the only places, right, Courtney, where?
Yeah, there are a couple things here and there where I just updated it, but that was
Those are the main things related to the fines. Yeah. So are there any questions on making these changes to update our policy? Do I have a motion to accept the changes as they are presented here?
I make a motion to accept the changes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right. So those are now officially approved. Thank you, Courtney. Good. All right, does anyone have any new business or any questions or anything else that they would like to go over tonight?
Courtney, I know you've been working with is it Kathy Morels with the Friends?
Yeah.
She's also in charge of the literary festival. Usually
okay.
happens in spring every year. And I think the last time we've talked, usually in December, we start getting ready for it. But we kind of had our chat, and it looks like we might be delaying it, obviously, till fall. Last year, we didn't have it at all. So it's a really good group. When we do get together, I'll let you know, and I'll invite you to one of our meetings. I don't know if you were ever around when we had a literary festival, but it's a good, deal. We usually, you guys cooperate with us. I can tell you a lot about it. I'll just saying that maybe in the fall it might happen. And yeah.
Okay, I would definitely love to be part of that. So keep me posted.
And I guess the other thing is, if anyone, or I'll just ask in an email, I just want to get the next 2 dates for February or March, so I can give them to Meredith at the Millbrook Trust and Investments so that she can join us on one of our Zoom calls this quarter. She said definitely not tonight, beginning of the year's challenge for her, but she'll either February or March, she'll be joining us. So if I could just get-
February is our annual meeting. I'm not sure if we want to have her come to that. And I was just going to add one other thing regarding the annual meeting. I sent an email out if anybody has any changes that they need to make regarding, whether or not they're going to continue, or I'm assuming everybody is continuing in their position. But if there are any changes, the sooner you let me know, the better. Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Carrie.
All right, so I will get her to come. I'll let her know March. I'll get the exact date. Is it usually we're just the third Tuesday of every month? Okay. All right, so I'll give her the date and I'll let her know. And
Great.
yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
No problem.
All right, well, hearing no other business, I would make a motion to adjourn our meeting for tonight.
I will second. Is it second or make a motion time? I'll second it.
Well, it looks like Kay wanted to say something.
Yeah, sorry. Carrie, you said you sent out something about an annual meeting. Is that going to be a different date than our board meeting?
No, it's the same date. It's February
Okay.
16th, but it's the meeting where we re-up officers and vote on any new members.
Okay. All right. Sorry to interrupt the adjournment here.
Yeah, it's usually pretty quick, and then our regular meeting follows, and it's just
I think that
kind
is
of a
the first
formality.
came to last year, actually. I'm remembering now. Okay.
Yep. Well, last time I saw you in person.
Yeah. God.
Mm.
Yep.
Who seconded the adjournment?
Mark did.
Mark, thank you.
I'll second.
Great. All right,
The second,
everybody.
the second.
It was nice to see you again, James.
Great seeing everybody. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks,
Here,
James.
everyone.
Thanks for coming.
Be in touch.
All right. Thanks for
Alrighty.
Definitely will.
time.
Good
Thanks for
night.
being so efficient, everybody. Thanks,
Good night.
Courtney.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.